Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Maverick here with episode 7 of Fire Force. So, last episode, the 5th Pillar Inca has made her decision. She has decided to join the Ashen Knights, much to the chagrin of our self-proclaimed hero Shinra. Although, to me, it's not the best kind of outcome, but at least it wasn't a case where she just joined the Fire Force willy-nilly, right? I feel like that would have made things a little bit too dull. This makes things a bit more interesting, right? However, I think we need to put that aside because something even more interesting is happening here. We are finally stepping outside of Tokyo and actually investigating the Cataclysm, the Church, and the history of the world, and of course the Adola burst / links as well, right? Something I've been waiting for them to do, considering the importance of all of this in relation to the story, right? So, as at the end of last episode, they're getting on a ship and sailing across the ocean, headed towards basically China, I think. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see what they discover. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Yeah. Fire! Well, that's a quaint little town. Not really what I was expecting, honestly. Well, aren't you guys excited? Eden? The hell? Yeah, of course, you too. I guess like teacher, like student? Hmm. It's... What? Is this an actual Japanese dialect? Like, I know they're still speaking Japanese. The words are still Japanese. It's just a lot of the endings of the phrases and whatnot. The connecting words are really weird. Doesn't really sound like a Kansai dialect either, so... Jaluai. Arumbesa. That is some weird Japanese, I gotta say. I wonder if it's actually made up, or maybe just a very, very rare kind of dialect. Okay, that's not anything like the current world map. Yes. Huh. Tectonic plates, maybe? Earthquakes? It seemed like someone literally squished the land together. Tamelai. Lie. What kind of ending is lie? Weird. And we are off. Oh. Well, hold that thought because we now have to go through the opening. Yeah, the way his mom spoke, Dragonaut's mom spoke, was really weird. It's not. I mean, typically you can understand that it's Japanese, and you also can understand that it's not proper Japanese or Japanese like that's commonly used now. But it doesn't really sound like a Kansei accent or whatnot either. Also, that was like a way smaller town than I was expecting. I thought that, you know, going, especially since they're arriving on a military ship as well, it would have to be like a big portside city or whatnot. Although I guess, to be fair, the world has been destroyed, eh? It's been 250 years though, and if Tokyo can develop like that, you would think that other nations, other countries could kind of develop as well. Okay. Races. That read Lakuin. That means, paradise. Why the hell are they saying it's an oasis? What the hell are these guys? Oh. So, it's not poisonous, but they just get hyperactive. What? Offer's pretty much the same. Okay. Huh. They're surprisingly obedient. Tamaki's talking all weird. That looks like a head of a creature. It's gonna turn into a monster, right? I can totally see it coming. Like, yeah, that's an eye, right? Okay. Okay. So it wasn't that stone creature, but the giant earth worm, stone worms? Shin Is that a freaking mole? Yeah! That's a... What the fuck? No. Potato from her farm? Talking moles? Really? This series certainly took a turn for the weird. Ah. So those aren't actually stones. Those are ribs, right? Oh, nice. That is cool. Man. If one thing this series really does well is that they always find very creative ways to utilize powers that are based on fire. Like, the creativity here is really, really through the roof. An oasis. Okay. What the hell is wrong with you, Shinra? Okay, so I guess that's why they translated this episode as a oasis. Even though it clearly says paradise. Ooh. Nice kickflip. Just like that? That thing looked like super heavily armored. That was actually stone, right? I'm surprised that like just a few fire spears took care of it. A talking mole, guys. Ah, see? Lakuen, paradise. They speak as well. Shinchinta. That's probably in Chinese. Shin means new. Dao means island. Well, it's hard to say because there's a lot of similar sounding words. Uh, Same sounding words, but it actually have different meanings. But I presume it's new something island. A mysterious group. The Ashen Knights? That was probably a Japanese pun. I didn't get that. You'd think that they would ask a little bit more information, right? Like, what exactly is the group, their abilities, how many people, so on and so forth. Oh, that looks pretty. Those are monsters, aren't they? Or spirit fires? Infernos. Well, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense, since they are burning. Lava floating close to the surface. I do kind of wonder though, are infernos reversible? Would it be possible to revert them back? I mean, we've seen back in season 1 somebody sort of kind of infernalized but still retained their consciousness and whatnot, right? If these are infernos from 250 years ago, think about what you can ask out of them. Can't Spirit Guy also do that as well? Still with the footy. Yeah, an actual oasis. Oh. That actually kind of makes sense, right? If you think about it, back in, I think they did mention that, Tokyo, like, all the greenery and whatnot, all the life is actually being supplied by Amaterasu. So yeah, I think it would make sense that it can create an oasis as well. Before the cataclysm. That actually kind of means that, you know, my suspicions are correct, right? And time has essentially stopped, technology-wise, for this world. Because from what we just saw, traffic lights and cars, that's at least 20th century tech, right? And they're still using kinda sorta 20th century tech right now. Mm. Alright. Is it the Ashen Knights? Was he being possessed there? That was the first pillar, right? So I guess her influence has still been left on Shinra? Hellhound. Lato. Wait, so the group is actually just a bunch of dogs? Okay, that was such a troll. Hmm. Oh. What are you, an elf or something? Alright. Well, see you guys after this. Well, okay, that was certainly an unexpected development here. Talking moles, talking crows and all that, Amaterasu. It almost feels like we're watching a completely different anime, right? Especially because they also inhaled the gas and apparently went off the ball crazy. Which is quite hilarious, especially Tamaki. I think I enjoyed her personality change the most. Which was, I guess, a nice little thing for us, right? But seriously though, like, talking with animals and whatnot, and then getting chased by like these giant worms and so on and so forth, it definitely has a very different feel from what we've been seeing up to now, fighting the Infernals, who are basically people, and then also the Ashen Knights, who are people as well. It almost feels like we're watching something completely different here. And indeed, you could even say that it's really turning like a new chapter. Like everything I was seeing back in season 1 and even in the first few episodes of the season are really just a sort of prequel. I don't know, but definitely it is keeping things fresh and interesting, right? So great idea to really expand the story, expand the background, and expand the world. Now, with that being said, though, not really much was investigated within this episode. So there were a few things that come to mind that are noteworthy, right? One thing I mentioned during the episode as well, the fact that they specifically say those are the remnants of the human culture from 250 years ago, and we can clearly see that it's 20th century technology. So something that I've been suspecting since the beginning is confirmed, and that is that the technology of this world really hasn't changed much from when the Cataclysm happened and the Holy Soul Temple was formed, right? Within the flashbacks and whatnot, or within the storytelling, you kind of get the perception that the Holy Soul Temple and the founders, like, they were, you know, ancient in a way, but not really so. And this is it's indeed a modern day kind of thing. So that means that when the Cataclysm happened, they already had modern day technology, and that actually means a great deal, right? And this kind of ties into the second point that I want to point out and that is the discovery of this sort of power generator that is similar to the one in Tokyo, the Amaterasu, right? And I think within the episode, the characters themselves kind of mention it as well. So potentially, depending on how old this site is, it could change the entire story of, the entire cover story of, well, I say cover story, but the entire premise that the Holy Soul Temple has put forth, right? And what everybody assumed. So they built the thing alongside, of course, what's his name again? Victor? Or whatnot, no, not Victor, Vulcan, right, alongside Vulcan's ancestors and whatnot. But as Victor was saying in this episode, it might not only be used for good, right? Like, clearly we can see both in Amaterasu and in this one as well, it has the ability to give life to plants, right? Turn a barren wasteland into a place where life is flourishing and life is blooming. And I would dare say that it's probably also the reason why the animals eventually evolved into beings that can talk and have higher levels of intelligence, right? So I can accept all that. Now, you could also easily, like, I could easily see this as a situation where maybe an experimentation with this sort of energy source went horribly wrong, and that is what caused the Cataclysm in the first place, right? The results of trying to harness this kind of energy and this kind of technology. Just a wild guess in the dark here, but I could totally see a story like that kind of developing here. And yeah, and that was basically it for this episode, honestly. Not really that much to talk about. Like I said, it was mainly just watching them go through the things. But hopefully by the next episode, we'll get a lot more answers. And of course, keep the questions coming as well, as there are still a lot of stuff we need to learn in regards to the world's history, in regards to the Dullabers, the Dullinks, etc., etc. And I can't wait, right? Not to mention the looming threat of apparently Shinra still being possessed by Pillar Number 1. Seems like that is going to be a problem that's not going to go away anytime soon. So we will have to keep an eye on Shinra, right? Anyways, that's it for this episode, Fire Force Episode 7. Hope you guys enjoyed this as well. I'm certainly enjoying this kind of development, even though it is quite weird. Quite weird. Anywho, I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned, and bye-bye.